Okay, this week I feel like I made progress at work because I didn't want to feel like I had to avoid Victor to feel good. And I just also feel like I don't ever want to be on bad terms with people because I'm being petty or because I'm playing victim and feeling like the world's out to get me and everyone's against me. And so I think I just tried to approach the situation like I need to have a better attitude towards Victor and treat him nicely and try to separate, who he is with like some decisions or choices that he's made, because everyone's human, everyone has like bad days. And like when I came back from my trip and I wanted to like reconcile things with him and Michael and Constantine and all my other like managers, I felt like he didn't want to give me the time of day and didn't really care about me and I wasn't his favorite. And so I was like, why am I even going to you for help when that's your job and you don't even want to give it to me? And I feel like I really took that personally. And I think it was just like a bad time because he was just so busy dealing with a bunch of other things that like leadership was dealing with. And so I think now I'm like, okay, I don't want to live my life trying to avoid him or just having a bad attitude every time I see him. So I scheduled a one-on-one with him and he was super receptive to having it and super friendly, and it seemed like things were good again. And yeah, I feel like conversations recently have always gone to like what happened last year and how I got a bad rating and what I can do to learn from my mistakes and make the most out of the situation going forward. And so every time we talk, we kind of like go back to that just because I'm still in that, I guess, like PTSD phase where like this bad thing happened and all I want to do is like avoid it, and I'm hyper fixated on like trying to make sure the same thing doesn't happen again. And I think like right now I know why things turned out the way they did, and I'm at peace with like the outcome of the situation. I'm just trying to move forward. And I think like to have him say in a way what I already know again is really like comforting and validating. And if I had the same conversation with him like a couple months ago or even like a year ago, I think I would have taken it more poorly just because I didn't really understand like why all these things were happening when I felt like I didn't deserve it. And like now I understand it because he's told me before and he's just saying it again. It's like in a way like telling someone what they already know like comforts them and like validates them because it just makes them heard and supported now that they already know, because they have a different perspective when listening. I don't know if that really made sense, but I think we just like talked about it again. And in a way I liked having this conversation with him because sometimes the problems I have right now, it's like I don't know what I'm doing. Michael doesn't seem to know what he's doing. So it's like Victor in my brain seems to know the answers and he's not telling me the answers. And Victor's response to that was like, nobody knows what's going on. Like with the whole review process changing, like nobody has any freaking clue of like what to do, what to say, like how expectations are set and like all these different things. And so it's like he's just as human as I am. Like he's just lost in the system as I am. I'm just like on the very bottom of it. So I get, I guess, like the short end of the stick sometimes. But yeah, I guess like to hear that he's been struggling with the same things as I was at like a higher level than I am, and he's like an L8, like L7, whatever, I don't know, like really high up in his career, like has been in industry for a long time, and he's still like having the same problems I am. It's just like validating in a way. Like I know I'm not his favorite, but I think the most important thing I can do is try to be more visible. So showing up to meetings, like literally going into the office, I think that makes so much of a difference, like more than I would have thought or realized. And I think especially to Victor, because he's always like commenting on that, like, oh, this person's not in, or blah blah blah. Like if they're not in and I don't see them, I usually try to check in on them, and I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't try to like file for a workplace accommodation so I could just escape the situation, and more so like get used to it and know that this is like how I have to play the game, and that's the easiest thing I can do is just like show up. And yeah, I feel like me trying to reconcile things with Victor in a way has like made me more open to trying to fix things with like Jackie. Not necessarily like that anything's broken, but like, yeah, just to like, I don't know, try to have a better attitude when it comes to her as well. Because for some reason I've like combined them or put them in the same bucket because I feel like they're similar in some ways that I just for some reason don't like or don't vibe with. But yeah, progress. I feel like it's so important for me to know that like, or just to remind myself that like literally everyone is human, everyone has bad days. If something bad happens, the world is not out to get me. Like, I shouldn't play victim. I should just try to move forward and understand that everyone's human and like relationships are just hard, like in any setting. So yeah, okay, I've rambled for too much and I'm gonna go back to doing work or figuring out what to do with the rest of my day because I'm still not sure yet. Okay, bye.